other day, so the one guy that's down here, Wesley, he made a blowgun. It was pretty powerful. But yeah, you shoot little darts and they stick into things. And so yesterday he hates it because I just mess around with the thing, shoot random objects. So yesterday I was in his office just chatting it up, and I shot this bottle with the blowgun, and it obviously stuck in there. And so I took it out and got out, and he was like annoyed at me, right? And so then I go to shoot this plastic cup. And so here's the plastic cup. It hits the top of the plastic cup, knocks it over, and deflects right into an aerosol can and just starts squirting everywhere. And oh man, he was mad. And yeah, it was a bunch of furniture polish. He made me clean it up.
You should have TikTok. That would have gone viral.
Well, I wasn't videoing. I don't video things because then nothing good happens. Because if you force it, it's not good.
As soon as you turn the camera off, kind of like this podcast, we were talking before, and it was just great. And now that we, started the podcast, everything that has just awful, just not good.
Well, that's how it was when me and John Allen did Post-Market Gems. I mean, we had such good conversations throughout the day, but as soon as that camera would get on, I mean, he would start stumbling over his words, and I would start being lame. And I'm not a lame guy.
Yeah, you were pretty lame with Post-Market Gems. You are a much more polished speaker now. I might offer you a job when
Thank you. Yes! Woo!
I'm just kidding.
That didn't lose.
I can't offer a job if I'm not making any. Like, you won't get paid for the job.
Oh yeah, I remember we were talking about this earlier, and I said, yeah, I'd gladly do it. All I need is $50 a podcast. That's it.
I can't afford. I could afford to pay you $50 a podcast, but not. I'd just be straight losing money.
All right. One last thing about Post-Market Gems. I'm not sure which episode it was on, but I did predict the Buccaneers winning the Super Bowl. Just saying.
Then that was
me and John Allen had a good. All right, that was before the season started.
To be fair, like what John Allen was saying about the Buccaneers not being good at all was just not very well thought out. It was just a terrible take. Because if you looked at their team from top to bottom, they just had a very, very solid team. And to say that they would not be good at all was just not a very good take at all.
But he believed that Tom Brady was legit washed up, but he just had Bill Belichick. And he's since admitted it that he's wrong, and Tom Brady's the GOAT, obviously.
I mean, how can't you admit that? I mean,
right. I'd say he's the greatest ever in all sports.
Better than Jordan?
Oh yeah. There's nobody that comes close. There's nobody that comes close to Tom Brady.
So how do you measure that?
Right. No, the only thing actually I know a whole lot about hockey, but
Duane, Micheal Jordan changed the face of the game forever. Before Micheal Jordan, nobody did sneaker deals. That wasn't a thing. Micheal Jordan brought that along, and now that's the biggest part of becoming a superstar is getting a sneaker deal. And that's how players make their money. He also taking the game overseas and spread Tom Brady is not on the same level in that regard. But everybody knows what Air Jordan is. Everybody knows that. Air Jordan is a huge brand. Do you know anything about Tom Brady's brand? TB.
Right. The point I'm making is that as far as other players coming close, LeBron James to their skill level on the basketball court. LeBron James, I'm saying Michael Jordan's still the GOAT, but LeBron James is closer to Michael Jordan than anybody in football history is as close to Tom Brady. If that makes any sense to you.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. But
that's the basis I'm arguing.
Okay. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
Right. It doesn't. You had a question the other day about something with the stock market, and I'd be into talking about that.
Okay. So I've been asking people, whoever I can, About investing in cannabis. So just to lay it out, basically, if you put money in cannabis right now, in 20 years, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be worth a lot more money, if that makes sense. So it's a smart investment in that way.
Right.
But there is the morality issue. Like should we be putting our money into something that could potentially hurt people, or could potentially cause people to, I guess, sin? I don't know.
Right.
And I don't have any answers. I don't have any answers. I ask people the question and get their perspective. And I've heard a couple different perspectives now, but
so the way I see it is there's a number of things that so I know a lot of that will probably go to medical use, which I don't have a problem with medical marijuana, because there's worse drugs that they use for medical, obviously. But the way I see it is a good amount of that is going to go to recreational use. So if I'm not going to invest, so there's a lot of things people do for pleasure, right? Should I wait till you come back, Myron?
I'm still here.
Okay. There's a lot of things people are going to do for pleasure. I'm not going to invest in Budweiser. I'm not going to invest in beer companies, probably not. And I'm not going to invest in like Playboy or anything like that. Like any porn site or anything like that. So I don't know what the difference would be for cannabis. That's the way I see it. So I wouldn't see a reason for me to invest in that.
So do you, like the other stuff you invest in, do you make sure all of the companies are legit and they're all like I hear what you're saying, but are you keeping the same energy for your triple Q or whatever ETF you're investing in? Like, I'm sure there's something that you can find in those companies that the money is going to something like that you wouldn't condone or support.
Right. So I can't say I do a ton of research on all the ETFs I invest in. I mean, they invest in up to 500 different companies, and I can't know what's going on in every single one of those companies. But that ETF, that cannabis ETF, I mean, that's solely cannabis. That's solely CBD products, and so I would see a difference there. I mean, yeah, you might be able to pick one or two companies out of the triple Q ETF or even S&P 500, but the level it's a different level. It's on a different level, I'd say. And they might.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
They might be investing in a cannabis company or two, but I'm not sure. I don't know that.
So what about?
So maybe that is a flawed way to.
What's that?
That might be a flawed way to think, but that's just how I see it.
So what about, here's another one. What about the bets one? Have you seen that ETF, sports betting?
No. Yeah.
That's another one they say is going to boom. And it's kind of for the same reason that cannabis one is going to boom. So like, is that something?
Right.
So
I try to be consistent in how I do things. And so I haven't thought about that. I haven't researched that bets thing. I can kind of imagine what it is, but I haven't thought about it very much. But I would say I wouldn't invest in that either. There are things that will make you money, but that aren't. I wouldn't say they're right to make money off of. But different people have different opinions. But that's where I'm coming from.
So why invest if we're worried about where our money is going to go? And if we invest in something we don't know, because we don't know where your money, like you don't know what all your money is being used for. So what if you invest in a company
but if I would,
secretly are doing
if I would invest in that, But if I would invest in cannabis, I would know or in that cannabis ETF, I would know exactly what it's going.
No, I'm just saying in general. Just
and I would know
cannabis.
Right.
Give me your reasons for investing.
Oh, I think that investing in individual stocks is very risky, and it can turn into basically gambling, which it can turn into a gambling addiction if you let it. So there's a danger in investing in individual stocks just because it's exciting, and it'll get you, and it'll take all your focus, and you'll always be thinking about it. I've been there.
I saw someone posted on Stock Twits the other day, and they said, I've had 10,000 shares of OGN at 97 cents for 4 weeks now. When is this thing going to go up? And I'm like, that's like $10,000 worth of this.
Piece of joke. And there's people that are saying, I cannot wait to wake up at 4:00 a.m. to see what Oxygen does tomorrow or does Tuesday morning. Or I can't wait to stay up for the next 5 hours to watch Dogecoin and see what happens. It's like 9 o'clock.
I'll tell you what's going to happen
with
with Dogecoin. It's going to go up 2 cents, and then it's going to go down 2 cents, and then it's going to go up 2 cents, and then it's going to go down 2 cents. It's not that complicated.
Just buy it at 8 cents, sell it at 6 cents. Buy it at 8. Yeah. But anyhow, like I was saying, when you invest too much in individual stocks, it can become an addiction, honestly. And it consumes your thoughts. That's what I'm talking about as an addiction. Just consumes what you do and consumes your thoughts. And I don't think that's healthy. So I like to put my money into ETFs. And an ETF is let them in there and let it grow.
An ETF is basically you can invest in like 10 different companies at a time or whatever, and they invest
or 500
they distribute your money throughout those companies.
Right. But which the stock market in history is always going up. So those companies spread out your money all over the stock market. So they're
so if one company tanks, you're not going to lose that much money because it's just a part. A part of a bigger picture. But back to what you were saying about I can't even think right now. Back what you were saying about it consuming you. That can be about anything though. Anything you do can be can consume you, or like can become an addiction in a way, like even just like posting on Instagram, like then you check to see how many likes you got or how many people saw it or whatever. It can be Instagram, it can be checking football, watching basketball, or getting into sports. It can be anything. And the way I don't know about you, but I feel like my personality gets really tied up in things really fast, just the way I think. Or I don't know if I have an.
You're talking to me, Mr. Binge Guy, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you remember that.
But my personality is really, I could just get so caught up in stuff. And so my thing is just get caught up in the right stuff, Because there are things that it's not an awful thing to be addicted to. Like I drink coffee every day. That's not a terrible thing. It's not gonna kill me. Now if I would drink a pint of whiskey every day, that would be a bad habit that would be bad for me. So I try to find things one guy that aren't going to destroy me.
Right. So there's this one guy down here that, or he was down here, or his cousin was down here. Floyd's down here now, and his cousin was down here, and apparently his cousin thinks that drugs and coffee are the same thing.
Well,
basically,
caffeine is a drug.
And so he would say that if he would find a packet of drugs laying around or floating in the ocean somewhere in Haiti, where it's illegal to sell them, but it's not as illegal as it is in the U.S. If he would see a packet of drugs floating around, he would have no problem with selling it. And he's a very conservative man.
Because it's the same thing as coffee?
Because people sell coffee. And so why couldn't he sell cocaine or whatever? Anyhow, that's beside the point.
He doesn't understand.
But the one guy, we had an auditor down here that was auditing me, and he was all into his health stuff, and he was a very interesting guy. And I asked him what he thinks about coffee, or no, Barry asked him what he thinks about coffee, and he said, "Well, I don't drink coffee because I want to go to heaven."
Alrighty then.
He wasn't being serious.
I see.
But yeah, what were you saying about coffee? Where are we coming from? Oh yeah.
I try to do things that are helpful to me.
Right.
Last week I didn't drink coffee at all, and I didn't really notice a difference. I didn't feel better, and I didn't feel worse. I felt the same. But I can't really drink coffee now because I have a cold, and whenever I have a cold, I just can't. I drink tea.
Can't do it.
I drink tea.
Yeah, but the thing about investing, I think it can be a addiction more quicker. More quicker. That's the right word. Quicker. More quicker than any other. Like things like gambling and stocks, and I mean they're not the same, but they can be close. Depends how you play it. They'll consume your time sooner than things like sports will, just because you have money involved. You have skin in the game,
and you have a lot.
You know what I mean, right? You have a lot to lose and a lot to gain. With sports, I mean, you have a little to lose and a little to gain.
Right.
Barely though.
Unless you have money. Money makes the world go round.
Right.
The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil.
Right. But you think people take that verse seriously?
What's that?
You think people in Lancaster County and Mennonite people take that verse seriously?
Well, whenever you quote that verse, they don't emphasize the root of all evil part. They emphasize the love of it's the love of money.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I don't think people understand what the love of money is. Where money is, there corruption follows all the time. It doesn't matter who you are, or what you do. The more money equals power, and power equals corruption. And so the more money you have, the more it's just, you saw it with the whole Ravi Zacharias thing. It's like that guy had a lot of money, and he was able to he actually owned like 5 massage parlors, and that's where he was doing his weird stuff. But he had a lot of money, and if he wouldn't have had that money, he wouldn't have been able to do it to commit his sins in the way he did. It's awful. It really is. And I'm not saying every rich person is going to be in some crazy secret sin that nobody knows about, but where there is money brings power, and power brings corruption. So
I agree with you there.
But back to Lancaster County, I'm not going to judge anybody that's rich, because that's just jealousy, you know. When people say, oh, like that person has so much money, most people around here have worked for their money, and the Bible says that you're supposed to take care of your family, and your family's like your extended family. It's not just your family, but like you're supposed to take care of everybody. And I know a lot of people in Lancaster County that have a lot of money, and they give a lot of money too. And I think of my boss. Just the amount of money he gives away and time he puts into missions and stuff. And maybe it's everybody's called to something different. We're not all supposed to go out and be missionaries. Well, you are called to be a missionary, but it's not always overseas, and it's not always. But I think that's a danger of living in a community like we live in here in Lancaster, where there's just so many people like you, and you can grow up in your little world like you, it's almost hard to be a missionary in that scenario. So,
right.
You can't use it as a cop out not to go. Well, I'm a missionary here, but there's a lot of missionaries around here.
It'd be interesting to question a lot of these Mennonites in Lancaster County and ask them, how many times did you witness in this past month? Did you witness to a non-believer? I think it'd be alarming the number of times people actually do that.
Right.
Just because.
But the thing is, it's not like we're different in Lancaster County because there's so many of us. And so it's you hop into your group and you stay there and it's comfortable there. And with comfort, you get fat, you get lazy, you get I can't think of the quote I'm thinking of, but yeah, when you get comfortable, you get lazy, you get lax. Yeah, and I can say that's true just from my experiences.
Give me 1 second.
Push yourself, guys. Don't get comfortable. So they're still impeaching Trump, Duane.
No, it didn't work out, right?
Yeah, so now Trump's the most acquitted president in U.S. history.
You know what another thing is about politics?
I don't
care. About politics, I don't care.
They're gonna take your money either way. Either party that gets in, they're gonna take your money and do stupid things with it. Not fix the roads. See, Lincoln does this thing.
Right. Well, at least they use it for something. In Haiti, they don't use it for anything. They don't use tax money for anything in Haiti. Canada built all the roads around here. And that's what's got me not caring about politics in America. Hey, Lincoln, what are you doing, bud? Oh, yeah.
His mom
is a papaya smoothie, folks.
His mom was
not a mango smoothie,
so she's really tired, and so he was not getting the attention he needed. So, all right, well, we could keep talking, but I think our podcast can be done soon, if that makes sense. Unless you don't want to keep talking, but
no, it doesn't.
So, give me your final thoughts, final things. This is your last chance on Myron's message. Just the world is watching. Millions and millions of people are watching this. So if you can summarize,
I hope you get more than 25 views this time.
Hopefully, maybe your pretty face can bring in a few more. But yeah, the world is watching. Folks, give us the wrap up. Let's go.
Yeah, as I sip this papaya smoothie, pretty good. I'm thinking about you guys all in that sub-zero weather there in America. Currently, it's about 75 and breezy outside, or I'd say windy. Windy would be a better term for it. But yeah, just continue to listen to Myron's message. Bring in more followers for this man. He puts his heart and his soul in this thing.
Easy.
Hey, is this mine?
But I want to say this about that. I'll try to do more things, more interesting things like that, so it's not just me rambling every time. So, but keep going.
Right. But you rambling, I'll be honest, you rambling to me, like I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I do. Because it's comforting to hear my older brother talk.
Yeah, but
because your voice is so
most people
soft and soothing. Connection.
Most people don't have
right. That's the problem. Yeah, just continue to do what you're doing. I don't know what to say at the end of a podcast.
All right, guys. This has been Myron's message. Sorry for the. I'm not gonna apologize for the wiggly baby, but if he's distracting you, if you're watching this video and he's distracting you, come hang out with him sometime. He likes people. He really.
He's a good baby.
He likes to smile at people. Like tonight, we were at the luncheonette, and he gives everybody that walks past the biggest smile that you've ever seen. So it's a good baby.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. So this is Myron's message. Over and out. Over and out.
Over and out.